Hello.
Hi, Suhas.
Hello. Makrand, are you there?
Yeah, yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Am I audible?
Yes, yes. I am. You. I can hear you all. Because of the
Yes,
network,
yes.
I have not turned on my cam because the speed will not let us allow.
Okay. So, do you mean to say that we are going to continue on audio?
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay,
Because
okay.
there is a lot of issue of the Airtel network.
Okay. Sheikh sir, how many students and staff members have joined yet?
Sir, total 16. 16.
16 have joined.
Yes, sir. Still 3
Okay.
minutes to go.
Okay. I think we should wait for them.
Yes,
Not a
sir.
problem. So I am just sharing a screen. You can
Yeah.
see whether you are able to
You
see.
are you are sharing the screen. Means you are going to have PPT, sir.
Yes, yes,
Karan
yes.
Kale, sir.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So we'll be talking on PowerPoint.
Yes, yes.
You can share from your side.
Yeah, no problem. I think the host has disabled, so he has to enable the screen sharing.
Uh, screen sharing
Yes, sir.
sharing enable करो sir के इधर.
Done, sir. Done.
Okay.
enable करो उसको.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. Enable.
So can you see it now?
Yes, we can see.
Okay.
Yes,
Thank you.
sir. Yes.
Yeah.
We can see. Trends in electronics and career opportunities. Makaran sir, you have muted your audio, it seems. Hello?
Yeah, yeah. I wanted to mute unless all the
Yeah.
guys are there.
Right. No problem. I think Sheikh sir,
Yes, sir.
we have to just remind once again all the participants.
Yes, sir. On WhatsApp
So
group, I will send the message.
if Devre madam is there, you just tell her to remind
Sir.
all the participants once again.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So that they can immediately join, right?
Yes, sir.
But I think we have given the timing as 10, na? Not 9:50 or 9:50.
9:50 is given, sir.
9:50 is given.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Has the joining count has reached?
It's now 26, sir.
26.
Yeah.
Okay. Let us wait for 5 minutes, Kale sir.
No problem. No problem.
Kale sir,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Kale sir, the flow of the webinar will be, I'll be just introducing our institute and the purpose of webinar. Then you will be introduced by our head Chavan sir. Then
Okay.
you can
No problem.
start. And afterwards, Professor Ghanekar will have some question and answers, if any, during the live webinar.
Yeah.
The queries can be answered at the end,
Sure. No problem. No problem.
right?
Yeah.
So that will be the flow of the webinar today.
Yeah.
I think the people are joining,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yes.
What is the count now?
50, 53, sir.
48 it is. 47, 48.
48, including panel days.
Yes, yes. I think we should start now. Raman sir, should we start?
Sir, 9:55 like 9:55.
Okay. Okay. no problem.
9:55. Okay. Okay, we'll wait.
Yes, yes. But only for 3 minutes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No problem.
Sheikh sir,
Yes, sir.
YouTube streaming.
Yes, sir. I'm checking.
I think the count has increased now. 74, 75
Yes.
something. Right? People are joining.
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes, sir.
The count is increasing now. It has reached now 77.
YouTube का चैनल का वर्क नहीं हो रहा है, देखो 403 एरर ऐसे दिख रहा है। आपको व्हाट्सएप, हाँ व्हाट्सएप किया है, हाँ हाँ वो डिटेल और आपने के लिए
Sheikh sir, YouTube streaming.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Is it started?
No, sir. I'm checking that one.
The number has reached 90 now.
Yeah, sir.
I think we should start now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We can start. Yes, please, sir.
Okay. Good morning to one and all the participants, those who have registered for this particular webinar, as well as right now live on live chat of YouTube. Many of them have registered there also. I welcome you all for this 1 hour webinar on future trends in electronics as well as career opportunities which are in electronics field. Friends, we all know that electronics and telecommunication field is always a heart of Indian industry, because everywhere, wherever you go, the automation and electronics parts are always included. But many of the students as well as faculty, they think that becoming an electronics engineer, electronics and telecommunication engineer means only to work for IT or to work in IT area or IT sector. It's not the thing like that, friends. You can have a better and best career in electronics field as well. And the very good example is one of our beloved friend who was earlier working in earlier working in the academic field, and right now he has reached the very, very high and upper limit of electronic industry, core electronics branch and core electronics field he has chosen, and he is working in that. Lots of changes, lots of research can be done in that particular field. So let us welcome Professor Makarand Kale sir. He is with us today. He is working with the industry. And as a convener of this particular webinar, I, Dr. Suhas Khote, as well as principal of KJ College of Engineering, welcome you all for this particular webinar on future trends in electronics and career opportunities in electronics. I hope that definitely this will help all the students as well as faculty members to enhance their knowledge in this particular electronic field, and future also, if we need any help from him, we can definitely help this. We can have this help from him. So I wish all the best for this particular webinar. I also congratulate Electronics and Telecommunication Department, Professor Savant sir and his team, who has taken initiative and organized this particular webinar. Yeah, all the best and have a nice day. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you, Suhas. I think thanks to the KJMR team.
Yes.
I think it's good to connect with
Thank you,
Academy
sir.
again. Yeah, please. You want to say something?
Sir, I need to introduce the speaker now.
Okay.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Yes, yes,
Hello.
you are audible.
Yes, sir. Your voice is audible.
Sir, am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
Yes,
Go
sir.
ahead.
Thank you, sir. Khote sir, principal KJ College of Engineering and Management. I welcome today's speaker, Sri Makarand Kaleji. There is brief introduction of Kaleji. Sir is having semiconductor professional with 25 years experience spanning across academia and industry. He spent 13 years in academia, worked in JNC Aurangabad, then SKN COE in Pune. There he taught the subjects VSI and embedded systems. After having spent 13 years, he moved to industry. He worked in RF arrays and was responsible for RF chipset design and embedded design. He worked in serial microelectronics for 10 years and was responsible for India region and ASEAN region operations. He had a small stint at Electronica Sales. Currently, sir is working in Neoway Technology, and he is being responsible for India and ASEAN region operations. Sir has built product in IoT, automotive, consumer, and industrial applications. Current works are going on into cellular IoT, and sir's interest is in mentoring, career counseling to rebuild the electronics branch image amongst the ecosystem players. So on behalf of Department of ENTC and KJ College of Engineering, I welcome Sri Makarand Kaleji sir for the webinar on trend electronics opportunity. Over to Makarand Kaleji, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Pramod. Thank you, Suhas, for giving this opportunity. I hope this conversation would be fruitful and it will help to build the image of the electronics branch, where Suhas has already highlighted that there are still good amount of opportunities for electronic graduates to grab at. Only thing is, people like us have to come together to nurture them and to educate them where to apply. And I still request Mr. Suhas to, during this campus training, please try to invite electronics companies so that they know which are the students which are brightful, or students know which are the companies which are into electronics. I have seen in last 10 to 12 years, whatever I hear and see from various sources, the branch image is going down. So it is my passion, as I always, even my daughter also is electronics graduating from CNGAT. So I also indirectly can say force us to go into electronics, because I know this branch has tremendous potential and you can even invest your career and get a good opportunities. So without wasting much of time, I think I also have a follow-up meeting. So we will go immediately. Let me share you how the flow is. First few slides are regarding what I do and what is my company is into. And then I think I will let you travel through what are the Government of India initiatives, which are the latest technologies, where a lot of consumer gadgets, automation is happening around. And then you can choose based on your liking, interest, and the expertise you have. So this is, I think, we are basically, we are a Shenzhen-based company. We are purely into electronics, and we develop products around RF, around wireless communication and cellular IoT. These are our global partners. In India also, we have partners like Reliance, where we do design and manufacture varieties of the product. Even Harman also is our global customer. And bottom is what we do. Most of our products are being certified by various global agencies. This certification also involves a technical know-how. A mechanical engineer cannot get an electronic certification, and vice versa. So all the names that you see here, UL, Underwriter Laboratories, FCC, the global body for RF standards and approvals. CE is again a European body. Triple C is a Chinese consortium. So these are the regulatory bodies which will allow you to manufacture and sell a product in that region. You cannot sell a product without these logos on your devices. This is maybe just making you to aware that there are also a lot of opportunities for electronic engineers for these companies, where you can have test and measurements, qualifications, and methodologies. And these are our products which we develop, we manufacture and sell across the globe. And we are basically into cellular IoT. So we have products from second generation GSMA, third generation GSMA. Then we got a fourth generation products. We got fourth generation smart products, which will have usage on Android and Linux platform. And you know, many of the two-wheelers are coming with a dashboard, like a display. So one of the vehicle company called Ather in Bangalore is using our device called N1 inside. So their device, their vehicle will have a 4G connectivity, as well as will have an Android user interface for customers to either replace the batteries or know the mileage or know the geolocations. So this is one of our India success story for automotive recently, and it is already on the road. Latest what you see is 2 months back, every company started launching 5G devices. We also have our 5G module, a product which can be used by customers in industrial automation. And the last is the bottom one. As you know, when we were studying in our times in 80s and 90s decade, nobody wanted to have a wireless, and nobody has imagined that everybody want have a wireline communication. PLC, SCADA, all these technologies were prevalent. But you know, now everybody want a control at his fingertip on a remote basis. He doesn't want to visit, doesn't want to view also, and from a remote location, he wanted to look at all the things on, off, data monitoring, turning devices, etc. So the latest technology is called narrowband IoT, and we also have variety of the product, particularly this. So next slides, you will come to know respective technologies where a lot of opportunities are coming in terms of the product design, and many companies are investing heavily, including Qualcomm, Texas Instruments, Infineon, Mediatek. Many companies are participating in this. This is a technology for sensors. Every sensor can be connected to NB-IoT nodes using a GSMA backbone. And these are our devices. We do manufacture full products also. The one, this one white one, we are selling close to 6 million to Harman. So this is our complete design and manufactured and certified for US market. Recently we got in Maruti Suzuki also, this device is going. So this is our automotive product line. And this is the industrial applications. Customer may ask us to design the complete routers. Then you can have a power over Ethernet technology devices. Someone wants a plug and play PCBA boards. Someone wants a RS-485. So based on that, we have varieties of the product which can be certified and sold across the globe. This is the latest technology. As per the, you can say ACMA updates, Association of Vehicle Manufacturers in India, they have predicted that 2025, almost all vehicles will have a 4G to 5G connectivity. You will have everything handled through a gadget. So you require a very powerful data upload and download. Your entire vehicle diagnostics, your entire vehicle telematics will be used with products like these OBDs. And we do sell to various customers like Harman, Reliance, and to various geographies. And this is also an area for automotive electronics where students can have a lot of opportunities to work with companies like Harman, Geo. These are our customers actually globally. We supply, manufacture for AT&T US. Sprint is again a US operator. Telefonica is again a Middle East operator. So the previous slides were all for what we do and what I do and what is my current usage and applications. And the next is related to the branch, what you are all working hard to make it a product, a branch where you can have a tremendous opportunity. And this is just one nutshell. This is a data from ESD Ministry of MITI actually, Ministry of Electronics and Telecommunication. So you can see these are the areas where LEDs, you know, earlier we were using bulbs which were incandescent bulbs or filament bulbs. Now it is completely, you can say, retrofitted. I don't see any house, barring very rural place, will have a filament bulbs. Now everybody is migrated to LED. This is also a tremendous opportunity for power supply, power electronics subject, where everything is based on power electronics. Entire LED drivers are part and parcel of power electronics domain. I understand, at least in my era, we did not like power electronics as a subject, but because at that point of time, the applications and the devices were not there. Now you can see LEDs, you can see LED TVs, you can see LED screens. So the gadgets and applications are coming in numerous. So there is opportunity for making it. You cannot make it without a very good power electronics knowledge. So you require a driver, you require AC DC drivers, you require DC DC drivers, and that is a very good scope for academia to motivate student to study power electronics as a very passionate subject, not than a dry subject, which I found unless until we show them these are the applications where they could see opportunities. Telecom is what I talked about, is 4G, 5G. So all the operators still require electronic engineers. Then you have got a consumer electronics. Now every laptop I don't know how many of you know it. Lenovo has launched laptop with a 5G data card. You don't have to buy separately. The laptop of Lenovo comes with a 5G dongle inbuilt. You just have to use a technology called eSIM, embedded SIM. So you can get an encrypted message on your mobile. You can flash that code into the dongle and the laptop becomes 5G enabled. So this is where the market is driving, and every 5G is part and parcel of electronics, and I should say fifth generation telecommunication. Consumer electronics is again all your appliances market. Medical, as we know, all are facing the COVID-19. Lot of opportunities are coming in medical. Earlier, we were only into diagnostic appliances or equipments. Now, everybody want to have a lot of tracing and tracking methods. And even whatever news you are saying, Government of India already allocated $1 billion for medical electronics, healthcare industry startups. So, lot of applications are coming up in this area. So in next slides, I think we will come to know. And then is set-top box and automotive electronics. This is again part and parcel of the same previous slide. It will go much more deeper in each segment, like we would have mentioned about consumer electronics. Then you got the first column, that is mobile phones, camera, LCD monitor, set-top box, CFLs, notebooks. You got base station, this is telecommunication, this is power supply. So these are the 20 product markets where the Government of India generates 80% of its revenue. So Government of India is actually enabling the Indian indigenous OEMs to make all these devices locally. Many of them currently are imported off the shelf. So either they are imported into PCBA, which is a, you can say a tailor-made PCB, or they are imported a full-fledged end product. Now Government of India is giving an initiative, why don't you make in India? So there is opportunity for all of these segments. And I think if you know, many of these like mobile phones, Noida and Sri City in Andhra Pradesh are the two largest cities where India's 90% mobiles are manufactured. And Noida contributes almost to 80% of its production capacity. So almost close to 60 million handsets are manufactured out of Noida facility. Various manufacturers like Micromax, Lava, Carbon, these are Indian OEMs, including your Xiaomi. Xiaomi has a factory in Sri City. Foxconn is again another EMS company. So this also is coming in a Make in India initiative. These are again another, you can say, little bit drive. I have just mentioned about powered electronics and technology for power supply. So government is giving thrust on PCB clusters. For your information, India's 90% of the PCB manufacturing companies are located in only two cities. One is Ahmedabad, second is Surat. So if anybody of you know it, please, there are tremendous opportunity for this also, because every PCB manufacturing company requires a very good know-how of the electronics technology. And automotive, we all are from Pune. So I'm sad to say this now. Till 2005, Pune was supposed to be the automotive capital of India. After 2005 onwards, there are three more cities which have got major attraction in terms of investment. One is Gurgaon, Manesar, second is Chennai, and recently you can see in Andhra also, near Visakhapatnam. One more Korean giant, Kia Motors, have opened a plant. So these cities are also attracting a lot of opportunities for job opportunities for various engineers, including mechanical, electronics. And coming about semiconductor, which is my passionate subject. Unfortunately, till last 3 decades, nothing has happened in India where government has pushed for a fabrication unit. It is called semiconductor fab. This is not easy to commission because it requires very pure quality electricity supply, uninterrupted 24/7, very good quality of water supply, and you don't have to have much of the dust environment. So people have tried hard. Hyderabad was supposed to be the dream project city, but still in this case, we are not able to do anything on the fab. But apart from this, there are hundreds of companies who are working in a fabless mode. And the cities which are capital of this is Bangalore, Hyderabad, and Pune. So if you see Qualcomm has the largest development center in Hyderabad. If you talk about Texas Instruments, Asia's largest development center in Bangalore. If you talk about Infineon, they are based in Bangalore. If you talk about ST Microelectronics, they are headquartered in Noida. These are the companies which you are using devices for your subjects. So VLSI, fabless opportunities are there. We will, that is all related to your, whatever software you're using, Xilinx or Cadence or Mentor Graphics. This is again little bit further on it. What about the respective auto electronics? Whatever I have mentioned here, these are the vehicle diagnostic tools. You can say OBDs, and you can see the VTS, vehicle tracking systems. These are key fobs. Again, working on the RFID technology. You can enter the vehicle, you can open the vehicle and close using, you can say encrypted RFID technology, which again involves electronics. This is again as SDM market I have just mentioned. India is very, very festive destination for VLSI. And as I mentioned, these three cities contributes close to 90% of export out of semiconductor export. And this slide, which I always wanted to highlight, I think many of you come to know where we are. You all are in the bottom. But I cannot say without this bottom, the upper layers cannot be built up. So academia plays a very, very pivotal or critical role to build graduates like you who will graduate from this academia or the industry oriented courses. GE also has their own universities graduating. Then you got indigenous design manufacturers. The companies who will get graduates from this built a very good silicon products. I have named few of them. There are a number of companies. I can place maybe close to 100 companies are working in India in this space. I will like to know if any of your academia people have invested, and that will help all the students. But these are the major companies like Samsung, Intel, Freescale, Analog Devices, NXP, Infineon, many. Maxim also is there. These are the companies having offices in India. So please don't give up. You have to focus your attitude such a way that whatever you learn in VLSI, you have to think into which domain you would like to go. You want to go into VHDL, Verilog, you want to go into physical design, you want choose your interest area and get some further enhancement in the knowledge. Once you have this, these companies work in the upper layer, like it goes from software IPs to the companies which work like Synopsys, Cadence, and Mentor Graphics. Mentor Graphics is now acquired by Siemens. So these are the three big players in the world who gives you the EDA softwares. You might be knowing about Xilinx more, which is on this side. And I want to highlight to you, there are companies in the foundry. There is a company called Bharati Electronics, has a semiconductor plant in Chandigarh. It is called SCL. And this company has become bankrupt now, Mozarbeer, but Decor Semi is still there, but doing only, I should say, fabulous job. There is a company called SPEL in Chennai. This is India's only company who does packaging. Like for example, if suppose NXP designs a one power supply IC, we call it a driver. It comes with a software IP. And with the various software they use, Cadence or Synopsys, they make it to a silicon level. Now silicon IC does not have the, I can say, feature that you can directly connect. So it is called interconnect and packaging technology. This is India's only company who does the job, and all these companies are client of SPEL. So please try to Google while hearing me. you will come to know this company is very, very big player in this market. Now within last but one stage, fabless. These are the companies who does not own foundries. Foundries are owned by companies called TSMC and UMC, and there is a company called Global Foundries. Whereas these companies have a lot of IPs, intellectual properties into softwares of silicon, and then they outsource this into TSMC, UMC, and other companies to make the silicon realizable. And last is a phase where companies like my company and other are using all this technology to develop a product. So this slide gives you the complete electronics gamut of a design to actual end usage. So my request to all of you to focus on this slide and understand where are you and where you can get job into. Either the bottom, you can continue your PhDs and all research. You want to go into second one, you can get jobs into this VLSI companies. And third one, you can have opportunities in foundries. Applied Materials is world's largest company who are providing foundry equipment. And the last one, Cisco, Nokia, they don't have any silicon, but they work on the technology manufactured by Qualcomm, Broadcom, and this, and make the Cisco IP
Kale
phones.
sir, Kale sir, just want to interrupt you for a second.
Yeah, please.
Majority of the students of electronics and telecommunication, they always have a thought in their mind that they will have a very good and rosy job only in IT sector, only in IT companies. And they feel that there are no jobs as per economic condition is concerned. There are no jobs in core electronics available.
Yeah.
So please just throw a light how core electronics and telecommunication industries have a very huge requirement of engineers where the students don't go, because
I can-
semiconductor, fortunately semiconductor is also my favorite topic. I've done research in that, so I know what potential it has. So just throw on light to the
Sure,
students
sure.
that the jobs are also available, rather more available in core electronics field rather than IT field. Please, sir.
Yeah, I'm saying, I think this is a chicken and egg situation. I
Yes,
think
yes,
if we put them all the opportunities and ideas, they will come to
Right.
know where is the job.
right,
I
right.
can tell you in VLSI in Bangalore,
Yeah,
like if you know a friend and who has worked in Infineon for 10 years, if you
okay,
refer him in Intel, you will get
yeah,
50% of his package. This is called referral
okay,
program. And the
okay,
jobs
okay.
in middle senior levels are almost 40 lakhs and above.
Very nice, very nice.
I recommended one of my friend. I got 14 lakh rupees. I'm sharing
Oh,
you. His package was 2.6 crore. He is stationed in Europe.
okay,
There is a tremendous opportunity for silicon, I
right.
should say VLSI. I
Hmm.
think we have to make sure which
Hmm.
companies, I think there are a lot of resources. We'll go to next slide. I will show you which are the technologies. This is a slide
Okay,
which gives you a complete electronics know-how from study, making a silicon, and then seeing the silicon goes from applied materials, then to cadence software, then the companies
okay,
who manufacture, and the last is the guys who makes product like Neoway. So
okay.
if this slide is viewed by them, they will know where are they and where they want to
Right,
go.
right.
I have never shown any Infosys, any Wipro here. I don't want to
Yes,
show.
yes, yes, yes.
So we have to make sure them that we have to tell them this is the companies that they have
Right,
to look at.
right, right. Do we require any special training kind of thing for these electronics and telecommunication students to be switched to this particular semiconductor type of companies?
I think they need more on the, if they are good in the curriculum subject like VLSI, they would have
Okay,
at least, I should say, 15 to 20% required knowledge. Nobody
right.
in industry expect you are 100% capable. So everybody
Yes.
invests 6 months training. But
No, because the thing is that, sir, at college level, usually we know about the Xilinx software and these things. But whenever we talk about mental graphics, we talk about cadence, we talk about synopsis. the students are not well versed with such kind of EDA tools. And such kind of
I-
EDA tools are available only at, say, for example, at Pune, it's available at, say, COEP or university, or say one or two colleges, not more than that. So how the students will, become versed with such kind of EDA tools, which are practically used nowadays all over the world. I think Cadence is used by 90% of the people in the world, right?
I think you can tie up with those companies. They have a industry, I should say, academia program. You can get discounted rates for academia.
Yeah.
You can be a partner. I think Cadence is having a lot of in the academia programs in India.
Yes, yes, yes.
So you
yes.
can get a, I should say, mentor for there, and you can get your student graduated, they certify, and that will help them also. Xilinx, why? Because it is all academia. If you remember, at our times, it was only Xilinx.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that is the reason
Also, it was
that
freeware
has
also.
become famous. Same way,
Yeah.
this technology, this company also have their roles. Like Synopsys and Cadence funds close to $1 million to Harvard and Stanford. Why? Because these are the premier institutions.
Right, right.
It does not mean that they will not fund Indian company. They are funding IITs. You go to IISc and IIT Chennai, Cadence big lab is there. They have funded close to 2 crores last year.
Okay.
This is all how we bring them on board.
But the thing is that all the agencies or government agencies, IITs are born universities, so they don't have any problem. Even if they are funded or not, that because they have a package of more than say 20 CR, 50 CR, 100 CR. Likewise, they get from the government. Like government college also get, but it's very difficult for private colleges.
No,
Now,
I
for
don't.
private college, unless and until we tie up, and no big company will tie up with a private college. That is the thing. So, what is the solution for that?
I think you need to either interact, because there's nothing is rocket science. You need to tie up. You need to interact with their channels, forums. There are organization called as VLS Society. There is organization called IESA. You have to interact with.
Society. Even I am member of that society.
Then you can go to IESA. There is a NASCOM Center of Excellence, which is into IoT. These are forums wherein you can have regular interactions, and through that channel, I think you can get a lot of funding.
Okay.
So I'm just going because I have run up short of time. Sorry, because I have to wind up by 50. So next I'm just focusing on IoT without focusing much on these wordings. I will just go to one slide. Sorry for this rush, because I wanted to give you something on the last 5 slides. So I will just go through. Yes. So this is one slide. I think everybody has spoken about IoT. In my previous discussion, I mentioned that at our times when we were studying, we never imagined that we want to have a remote control. Now everything is remote control. Like even if you are turning on and off your TVs by Amazon Alexa. Does anybody know what is Alexa? What is this technology? You got Google Voice, you got Amazon Alexa, you got Siri from an Apple. These are basically far-reaching voice technologies. You have to understand your voice has to be heard over a long distance. So your commands, your interpretation will be understood, acknowledged, conceived by the device on the sitting on the TV. This is called using AI technology, but don't mean AI is only purely software. You have to train something. You have to train something, you require a hardware. So please don't understand, make it sure that this Alexa is purely a software. It's completely a hardware. There are devices which are built on far-reaching voice technology. And you can command a voice from a distance up to 10 meters, 20 meters, and now people are challenging limits beyond the technology spec, which is 80 meters. If I ask a TV, Alexa, turn on the fan, it should be turned on. So there is a device which will understand your voice once you train it, and then will activate those commands. So this all is happening through electronics. It is nothing pure software. So don't feel that electronics doesn't have a role. Every consumer appliance, everything in world cannot activate without electronics. So this slide gives you various IoT technologies. The Wi-Fi, now latest Wi-Fi is coming, Wi-Fi 6. FCC has just announced a legal bans in US for Wi-Fi 6 standard, where you can transmit close to 100 gigabytes, which is not possible at current Wi-Fi standard Wi-Fi 5. So you got Bluetooth, then you got NFC for payment and all. So these technologies also have lot of gadgets, lot of applications are developed around these technologies. The bottom one is Zigbee, which many of us knows. And I work predominantly currently on this side, the GPRS, 4G LTE, Wi-Fi, LoRa, and wireless. Our technology based on a GSMA standard. This is little bit more on the, again, another technologies where a lot of opportunities are there for you to grab, and technologies like BLE, LoRa, NB-IoT is what we are currently working. Then you got V2X, which is called voice over LTE, is used in the vehicle telematics, which I mentioned recently, that entire vehicles will be used in a 5G or 4G spectrum. And this slide gives you little bit highlight on the spectrum and the area applications. This is again a spectrum usage, little bit detail on the frequency bands and the bandwidth of each of the channel for communication. Then I think this is what you can again understand what is mean by M2M. It is a machine to machine. So when you say machine to machine, any industrial automation, any vehicle to vehicle communication can use any of these technologies for communication. And these are their bands. I think one more thing I need to highlight is you cannot start designing any product without a global licensing. So there is a International Telecommunication Union which assigns, which allocates each country for their own standards, and then only the respective countries allocates frequency bands for various usage. Then the design capabilities, whether it should be small scale, medium scale, large scale, based on that, you need to design your software for payloads, for traffic types, and the security standards. And these are the points which one has to consider before designing a product. Again, a little bit higher on that side. On the way of kind of communication, you need to know device between fixed range or short range and long range. The first half is short range because they can't go beyond half a kilometer. Zigbee can go up to half a kilometer line of sight. Then you can have a bottom line is a long range technologies where you can communicate over kilometers, 20 kilometer, 30 kilometer using cellular technologies, because you have got a base station. Your nearest base station can communicate to 25 kilometers trajectory. That is where the cellular IoT has a major advantage. And this is again another, I don't want to go into this slide. This is an earlier technology, but don't feel that any device which you get from Amazon, Flipkart comes with a barcode. Now you know everybody who's come to deliver you is coming with a ruggedized POS terminal. He will ask you to sign it on the screen. That also is a RFID reader. And whenever you sign, the data goes to their cloud. This is also, there is a company in Pune who is making a very good barcode reader. They have got good certifications. So you have to also think of this old technology, which is happening from last almost 7 decades. And a lot of innovation is happening on this technology also. Bluetooth, everybody knows. Now you got Bluetooth low energy, all your, I should say, healthcare gadgets, your tracker, your wristwatch, everybody is handled with this Bluetooth mesh technology. This is, was initially conceived for home automation, but now it has been used for industrial automation also. So you can have, again, it is based on IEEE standard physical layer, and you have got Zigbee mesh, which to use for coordinating between the end clients and the nodes. And now most of the silicon companies are having devices based on this technology. Wi-Fi, I think those who want to transmit high throughput, not in KBs like MBs, then people go for Wi-Fi modules or Wi-Fi technology, but it will be always limited with a short range. But there is also opportunity for you. You can use in any applications. This is another standard which I just mentioned. It will go beyond 1 kilometer. I don't know how many of you know it, but this is a standard which is already approved and being used in Europe for metering communications. I will again go on a different way, like 3GPP stand for third generation point protocol. This has been conceived by GSMA Alliance. All our mobiles works on GSMA standard. So on the left hand side, you see these are the technologies which work on non-standards. They are proprietary. They have their own silicon, own algorithms. So LoRa device cannot communicate with Sigfox and vice versa. This is the problem of the non-standard technologies. Whereas on the right hand side, any device can communicate to each other because they work on the international accepted standards. This is again a very good technology for long range, but again it is a proprietary in nature, and many European countries have adopted this as a technology for long range, for metering, for gas meters, water meters, and electricity meters. In India also, Tata Power, I should say Tata Docomo, has been the license operator for LoRa in India, and there is a company called Senra. They also require electronics graduates for their products, headquartered in Delhi. This is a little bit architecture on the base stations on the end client, which may not be of much, but you can just mention range is more than 15 kilometers and throughput is 50 kbps. So whenever you have a long range, the drawback is the payload cannot be big. Your payload is only 243 bytes. So if you have to transmit a 101 kilobyte file, you have to transmit it 4 times. That is a drawback of these long range technologies. They can go long, but they have to transmit in packets one after another. And then at the reception, it will be de-encrypted and sent combined together. Sigfox is also another technology, but again, it is a proprietary in nature. Same way, again, you can see this is have a very, very low payload. You can only transmit 12 bytes, but that is a problem. But you can again go 13 kilometers. So there are applications which will require such a low payload and long range. This is again another standard not accepted in India yet, but Taiwan has accepted this as the only technology for smart infrastructure. So entire smart cities of Taiwan government are based on weightless technology. The only advantage here is throughput is in Mbps and payload is still 200 byte. I think this, I don't know how many of you know it. This is a very good platform conceived by very good researchers from Harvard. They are using a technology called harvesting of energy from motion or light. So they are mostly used in your electronic switches and appliances. And again, work on 868 megahertz, which is also a license-free band for India. This is again a proprietary technology company, ZWave. They have devices again mostly into, you can say, home appliances and home automation. And this is a technology which we all know is a LTE. Basically for your 4G technology is called as LTE. I will go fast because I am already running out of time. And this is a technology which I currently work. We have various products in India. We have sold close to 600K last year for these devices to Jio. So if anybody of you know it, you have got a Jamnagar refinery in Reliance Petrochemical, which will be having. So as this is very interesting because this Jamnagar factory has close to 25,000 employees and they don't know how to track them because the area, if you Google around Jamnagar refinery, this goes beyond 3,500 kilometers. So to track those employees, we have designed a personal tracker. So like a visiting card, and it will be given to each employee and we will monitor their locations 24/7 using NB-IoT. And this device runs for 2 years battery life. That is the advantage of NB-IoT. It can run on a coin cell battery for 2 years. So, lot of applications are there for students to understand based on the technology, and then they can vouch for companies who work in such areas. Then this is again another technical specifications, what kind of range it works on. But this is again based on GSMA 4G standard. As I mentioned, my personal tracker with Reliance was 2 years, whereas it can go up to 10 years with a 5 watt-hour battery. Here, I think I want to know how many of the power electronics professors are there in this meeting. I request them to make the power electronics as a fascinating subject. I feel sad and upset that academia has made the subject so bored and so, I should say, inactive. Nobody knows that without power electronics, the next technology cannot be delivered, because suppose, for example, I have to design a device for 10 years battery. I require a very good battery management algorithms, very good battery management power supply. If I fail in doing it, I cannot design a product. So entire knowledge, entire technology is purely power electronics. So please, you have to show students such kind of devices so that they will get motivated to learn that subject. Otherwise, this becomes like what we learn in our times, circuit field theory. But I feel power electronics has a tremendous scope in coming days, because your electric vehicle charging is completely based on power electronics. You cannot design an electric vehicle without a sound power electronics knowledge. So I think you have to ask your colleagues whosoever are teaching this subject to share such good applications so that they can get motivated to study it more with passion. I think I will run through fast. Yeah, this is yes, this is the technology, how it has evolved. So 4G was started in early 2017. Now we are already in 2018 and 19 end, fourth quarter, 5G was started discussion. So the releases stands for, these are the consortium, companies like Qualcomm, AT&T, Airtel, Vodafone come together and they form the standards. So today, I think we have seen in last 2 months, many mobile guys have launched 5G handsets because the technology was already decided in 2019. The TSG stands for task group. So you can see so many meetings were held, and that is where the standards were released, 16th releases, 17th releases like this. And I think my point of interest was NB-IoT, because there I feel tremendous opportunity for gadgets, sensors. Whenever you mean to say sensors, it is electronics. Please make it understand. So sensors are meters, asset tracking, smart parking, smart agriculture. I can share you, we are working with I think 5 to 6 companies in agriculture in India who are taking the soil measurements and transmitting to the cloud regularly every day. There is also tremendous scope for NB-IoT nodes in agriculture industry in India, and many industry companies are coming forward for investment like this. This is in terms of the various technologies and their minimum specifications. So I feel the last one is the more attractive one, where you can start working on the technology and find out applications. This is what I think we have to also think of, like who is going to own the data. Now I think everybody is talking about data and clouds. I want to highlight to you that Amazon Cloud, Amazon Web Server, then you got Microsoft Azure Cloud. There is a tremendous opportunity that anybody who designs a product always want to store it somewhere. And the storage happens on an encryption platform. You require data services. So there is a lot of ownership that if you want to design, whether you want to store in your own cloud or you want to outsource to third-party cloud services. Then regarding privacy rights, so you have to think about all these parameters before designing an IoT product. And the last point also is very important. You cannot throw your electronic gadget the way you can do. There is a Government of India policy for e-waste, electronic waste. If a company like Reliance manufactures a dongle. If you see on the back side of the dongle, they have already mentioned the e-waste approval from the government of India. So they have to use certain materials inside the product which will not harm the environment. This is also one area you have to think before designing a product. And let us talk about opportunities. I think these are the areas where I feel in coming 2 years, you can have opportunities in smart metering. Like every urban houses are coming with the prepaid meters. You got electronic meter, gas meter, water meter, automotive. All cars are to be connected. So you require vehicle infotainment, you require vehicle communications, and there is one standard called Automotive India Standard 140. We should be proud. This has been designed by ARAI Pune. So ARAI Pune is a very, very nodal agency for AIS standards. And it is based in Kothurud. So anybody who plan to visit, please go there and understand the complete setup of that government organization. Then in terms of industrial, every industrial application or more automation is happening. Everybody want to migrate to latest tools and technology with the wireless. Third is, I told you about EV. Every electric vehicle, I think everybody is migrating. All current combustion engine companies, I should say internal combustion engine companies like Tata Motors or Mahindra have already started investing heavily into electric vehicle. Electric vehicle cannot be built without electronics. So there is opportunity for you for having a EV charger. Every charging technology is purely power electronics, nothing else. Please make it sure, so that I want you to make it more passionate subject than VLSI also. Logistics, every person comes to delivery, comes with a point of sales terminals. That is a part of RFID reader or Wi-Fi or 5G or 4G point of sales terminal. Street lighting, I mentioned earlier, Government of India has already started replacement of complete incandescent street lights into, you can say, centralized control monitoring systems. And the last one is various organization where you already are a part of or membership, but with a partnership with them, like NASCOM, they have a center of excellence for VLSI and IT. I think the activity happens from Bangalore. They also will be very good in supporting, nurturing the talent from academia and the students. There are bodies like CII. They also have their own academia forums, FICCI, Federation of Indian Chamber of Commerce, MITI, the Ministry of Electronics and IT, and then ISA forums. So these are the areas where educational institute can work and partner together and then connect the buddy engineers. I think out of my compulsion for winding up, this is what I wanted to highlight. And the last slide is, I think this is Ikigai. Always I give very high hope on everybody of us. We all have something very positive, something skillful in us. So I think everybody of us, if we focus on what we like, what we need, and what we are paid for, and what you are good at, I think you would be always able to deliver to your maximum capacity. This is what I want to say, and I think I want to conclude my talk. Sorry for rushing because I have another meeting.
Sir, one or two questions are there.
Yeah, please.
Ganekar sir.
Yes. Good morning, sir.
Please, be
yes.
fast.
Yes, sir. Sir, the gap between running fast running technology and academics is increasing. So what colleges or what faculties can do to bridge this gap? How to
Sir, he means to say, he means to say that there is a huge gap between academics and industry from so many years whenever engineering was started. How to bridge this particular gap?
I think I understand what he meant to say. I suggest you need to attend the industrial conferences, NASCOM, CII, FICCI. They also have various conferences for smart city and all others.
Standard conferences.
Yes, standard conferences, so that you can understand what is happening in the latest technology, what standards are evolving, and that interaction you can come. pertain back to academia. And at the same time, every company have their annual events. You can also participate. I think the best engagement for you is IESA. You will have NASCOM. You have got
Yes.
ARAI also has events all India. So you can participate with those organizations, and it will be a good industry institution interaction.
Okay. Can electronics and telecommunication engineers, they can be a good entrepreneur?
Why not? Why
Because
not?
there are very less electronics and telecommunication engineers being seen. Most of them are having their jobs.
No, I
So
think
instead of
this.
seeking the job, they can give job, right?
Yes, yes. There are a lot of engineers.
What is the opportunity in specific field? Can you mention one or two fields where right now we have some opportunities where an electronics
I think the
engineer can?
opportunity is coming up in IoT. I can
Okay.
see in Pune itself in last 6 months, I have seen close to 23 new startups, and they are developing
Okay.
products completely into IoT, industrial
Okay.
automation, vehicle telematics. You got smart metering. One guy has started a water meter also. A very fresh
Okay.
graduate from, I think, Vidarbha side, started his
Okay.
own startup. So it is nothing that you need to have an idea, and
Government
then
government is funding. Government is
I
funding
think
for
they have
such
got some
agencies.
funding from through local agencies. Yes.
Okay. Okay. So government is also has taken
Yes,
initiative
yes,
to
yes.
fund such entrepreneurs.
Yes, yes.
Any other question? Any other question, Ganekar sir?
No, sir. Actually, viewers have put only this question.
Okay. 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 So vote of thanks.
Yes, very
Shravan
good
sir.
morning to very good
Huh.
morning to all of you. I, Professor Rahim Rajashik, would like to propose vote of thanks for today's webinar. It is my privilege to have been asked to propose vote of thanks on behalf of KJ College of Engineering and Management Research, Pune, and Department of Electronics and Telecommunication Engineering. I would like to extend very hearty vote of thanks to all the delegates attending this webinar. I must mention our deep sense appreciation for today's speaker, Mr. Makrand Kale sir, for his valuable guidance. Also, I would like to extend special thanks to KJI Family President Sri Kalyan Rao Jadhav sir, Treasurer Mr. Vinod Jadhav sir, Managing Director Vibhavari Jadhav Madam and Harshada Jadhav Madam, and Executive Director Dr. H.K. Abbankar sir, and Campus Director Dr. Vijay Kakani sir, and our beloved Principal Dr. Suhas Koch sir. I would like to express my sincere thanks towards all the event coordinators and today's participants. And a big thank you all. Have a great day ahead.
Sir, Kale sir, very much. We are very much thankful to you that you have spared a very good time with us, and almost 150 of our students were live watching this particular webinar today. So let us have a good time, and let us
It was
hope.
very nice session.
Yes, yes, and
Sorry,
let
sorry.
us
I
let
think sorry for a little bit rush because there
no,
is
no,
a overlap.
let us have a session which will be a physical session in the classroom and some hands-on when the things will become proper. Chavan sir,
Yes, sir.
please ensure
Very
that sir will come to our college when the things will be right now and guide our students as well as our faculties.
yes, sir. That's for sure. We will surely
Yes,
call
yes,
sir as per his
yes, yes,
convenience.
yes, yes. He's a very good
Arrange the
speaker, I
session.
know, and he is aware of all the new things as his company says, right?
Yeah, we
So
will
thank
arrange
you.
a hands-on, sir. Hands-on. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Hands-on, yes, yes.
Yeah.
So thank
Thank
you,
you.
Kale sir.
Thank you, Suhas sir. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
yes,
you
thank
all. I
you.
think thanks for
Yes.
listening patiently. Hope
Yeah,
it
yeah,
has
yeah.
given.
It was an informative session. It was an informative session.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
congratulate ENTC department for arranging such a nice webinar. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
sir. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Igori.